Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're grabbing our markers, stepping right up to the whiteboard of reality, and decoding what honestly looks like a 3rd century mystic's ultimate troubleshooting guide for our 21st century digital anxiety. We are talking about Plotinus. This guy built a framework of the universe so profound it might just completely change how we look at, well, literally everything around us.
Okay, let's dive into this. Imagine looking at your phone screen right now. To a toddler, the apps, the videos, those bright colors, they just magically exist right there on the glass, right? But as an adult, you know the truth. You know there's a massive, hidden infrastructure behind that screen. We're talking intricate coding languages, operating systems, servers, fiber optic cables crisscrossing the globe. Well, Plotinus, who lived way back around the year 200, actually looked at the physical universe exactly like that smartphone screen. He saw the trees, the stars, the bodies, the oceans, but he knew they weren't the ultimate reality. To him, the physical world you walk around in every single day is really just the user interface of a much deeper, incredibly beautiful cosmic operating system.
Let's open up that first directory folder, the Cosmic Operating System, and explore the user interface.
Now, Plotinus didn't exactly sit down and write some neat, standardized textbook for us. Instead, over many years, he wrote 54 separate essays, which are called tractates. After he passed away, his brilliant student, Porphyry, took these 54 essays and organized them into 6 groups of 9. And since 6 groups of 9 equals 54, and the Greek word for 9 is Ennea, this entire collection became famously known as the Enneads. Through these writings, Plotinus basically supercharged the ideas of Plato into this grand, mystical theory of everything known as Neoplatonism.
Let's see how this builds as we shift into part 2, the 3 layers of reality. We're going to peek behind the screen and look at the back-end architecture. You see, Plotinus believed that reality isn't flat. Instead, picture a magnificent overflowing fountain, just cascading down into different pools. He called these cascading layers of spiritual reality the hypostases. It starts at the very top with step 1, the One, which is the absolute source. Then, it overflows into step 2, the Intellect, which radiates down into step 3, the Soul. Finally, at the very bottom, the absolute furthest from the source, we reach step 4, matter, the dark outer edge of the physical world.
Let's look a little closer at that absolute top level, the One. This is the ultimate source of everything, but it's a complete paradox because you literally cannot describe it. The second you say, oh, the One is smart, or the One is beautiful, you've immediately put a limit on it. Think of it like a completely blank piece of paper. You can draw a circle or write a poem on it, making it the source of those creations, but the paper itself isn't a circle or a poem, right? The One is that blank canvas. It doesn't even think, because thinking actually requires a division between the thinker and the thought. Instead, it's so perfectly full of goodness and energy that it just naturally overflows. It's exactly the same way the sun doesn't have to try to shine. It just radiates light completely effortlessly. Now, as the energy from the One overflows and kind of cools down, it creates the next 2 layers. First is the Intellect, or nous. Think of this as a massive, living, divine supercomputer. It holds the perfect source code and the blueprints for everything that could ever possibly exist. And it doesn't think step by step. No, it knows all truths instantly and simultaneously. Then, right below that is the soul, or psyche. If the intellect is the perfect blueprint, the soul is the cosmic construction crew. It has a higher side that stares up at those divine truths and a lower side that actively projects those truths downward, building them into the actual physical elements of time and space.
So, what about all this physical stuff around us? Matter. Well, to Plotinus, matter is just the absolute end of the line. Picture shining a flashlight into a massive dark room. Near the bulb, the light is blinding, right? That's the One. As you look further away, the light dims into the soul. And at the absolute furthest corner where the light finally runs out completely, that pure darkness is matter. Now, matter isn't some evil substance. It's literally just a complete lack of goodness and light, kind of like how cold is really just the absence of heat.
Now that we understand the system architecture, it's time for part 3, navigating the 6 Enneads. We're officially opening up the user manual itself.
Ennead 1 hits us with a massive question right out of the gate. Who are you? Plotinus argues that your mind is basically separated into layers. Over on one side is the animal. Those are your hungry, scared, tired physical survival instincts. On the other side is the high soul, your calm, wise, divine spark. And sitting right smack in the middle is the we, your conscious decision maker.
You are the one who chooses where to focus. So are you letting those animal instincts run your daily life, or are you pulling your focus up to the high soul?
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how you level up that focus. Plotinus tells us that to become a good person and find true beauty, we need purifying virtues. He says, withdraw into yourself and look, act as does the creator of a statue, until he has brought to light the beautiful face. It's honestly the ultimate mental digital detox. You literally chip away at the physical distractions and those bad habits until your true, brilliant inner self is fully revealed.
Moving to Ennead 2, Plotinus turns his attention to the cosmos. At the time, there was this group called the Gnostics who believed the physical world was just a prison created by an evil god. While Plotinus fiercely rejected this, he argued that the physical universe is a stunning, interconnected, living masterpiece. It's the absolute best possible physical copy of the spiritual world. The stars in the sky aren't causes of our bad luck. They're simply harmonious letters written across the heavens for us to appreciate.
Now, what's really interesting here is how Ennead 3 explains the difference between time and eternity. You see, eternity isn't just a really, really long time. It's a state of complete timelessness where the past, present, and future all exist at once. Think of eternity like an entire movie file perfectly saved on a hard drive. But because the soul can't process it all at once, it creates time. Time is just that exact same movie file pressing play and unfolding slowly frame by frame so we can actually experience the cosmic script.
So why are we here dealing with this slow, unfolding time anyway? Well, Ennead 4 dives into the mind to explain the soul's journey. Originally, our souls had this really healthy urge to express their power and bring order to matter. But there's a catch. We got a little too focused on the physical world. Think about it. It's exactly like putting on an incredibly immersive VR headset. The game is so wildly realistic that you completely forget you're actually sitting safely in your living room. You start sweating and screaming at virtual monsters. Our souls descended, got way too absorbed in the game of the physical body, and we literally forgot our true identities.
Here's a quick cheat sheet for the whole manual. Ennead 1 teaches us virtue. Ennead 2 shows us the beauty of the cosmos. Ennead 3 unravels fate and time. Ennead 4 explains our VR-like descent into physical bodies. And that brings us to Ennead 5, the divine mind. This is where Plotinus tells us we don't need to look out into deep space to find the source code. If you just look past your senses and your step-by-step logic, you can tap into pure intuition, the divine truth that's already sitting right inside your own mind. And that realization sets up the grand finale.
Ennead 6 brings us to the absolute ultimate goal of human life. Plotinus calls this mystical union the flight of the alone to the alone. It's such a profound, breathtaking concept. At the very peak of your journey, you have to quiet your physical desires, let go of your step-by-step logic, and just quiet your mind completely. You tap into pure awareness. In that perfect silence, the boundary between you and the universe just dissolves. You don't lose yourself or die. Actually, it's more like you simply merge back into the one, exactly the way a single drop of water falls back into the endless silent ocean.
Okay, let's bring all this profound philosophy straight down to earth. Part 4. Upgrading your modern life. Let's look at Plotinus's hacks for today.
If Plotinus were here right now, looking at our daily screen time, he'd give us a serious warning about chasing shadows. Think about obsessing over perfect social media reflections. These highly curated images on Instagram or TikTok. Plotinus would say, why are you staring at a digital reflection of beauty when the permanent, eternal source of all beauty is already sitting inside your own soul? Enjoy the physical world, absolutely, but do not base your self-worth or your happiness on digital shadows that can just decay or instantly be deleted.
So the crucial point is really captured in these 4 highly actionable upgrades. 1. Stop chasing digital shadows. 2. Sculpt your inner stature by meditating and deliberately cutting away your negative habits. 3. When you get angry or stressed out by the physical world, actively step back into your higher soul. Let the animal instinct pass by like a temporary storm cloud while you just remain the calm blue sky. And 4. Go outside. Seriously, disconnect from the screen and reconnect with the world soul breathing through nature.
The cosmic operating system is incredibly vast, and you have access to its absolute highest levels right inside your own mind. So I leave you staring at your screen with one final, provocative question to ask yourself today. Are you purposefully playing the game of this beautiful physical universe, or have you completely forgotten you're in it?
Please like and subscribe.